do. Anyway, okay. Hello, ladies. I didn't say hello to each of you. I'm sorry. I was telling my little story.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sue.
Right, I'm going to check you off on my
Morning, Marjorie.
attendance sheet real quick, because I always take attendance.
I gotta fix it.
Hi, Marjorie.
Good morning. I'll be right back.
Take your time. It's okay. I understand. Did I get everybody? I'm missing somebody. Sue. Sue is on the bottom of my list. That's why I missed you. Okay. Hi, Connie.
Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Connie. Morning, Linda.
All right. Do I have her? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of you. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got everybody. Okay. Any questions?
Well,
You're not ready to kill the shva yet.
I am.
Okay, I knew somebody would be. Thank you very much.
And maybe the Vav to go along with it and
Yeah,
being able
We're
to
gonna-
distinguish
we're gonna
the,
go over. We're gonna review
Oh.
some of that. I mean, it's because it's gonna keep coming up, so we're gonna keep talking about it. And you know, it was just the introduction. I know it's confusing. Don't worry. It's the author of the book says it's not uncommon. You know, the reasons why the Shva does what it does and how you break up the syllables is beyond the scope of this class. But if you mispronounce the Shva, it's not like, people are not going to think you're an idiot. It's just a complicated thing. Don't worry about it. So you're going to do your best, and I know that. Okay,
God will not strike us.
completely not. Okay, so let's look at page 35. So this is still unit 5. We are still working on the bracha for Shabbat candle lighting. And we're learning more letters and parts to that bracha, right? So, you know, the bracha is Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. So we still need some letters to read this smoothly. So on the top of page 35 is the Cholem Vav, right? The Vav with the dot on the top, which we already know, and we know it sounds like an O. But he's going to get into and review for us a lot of the craziness that I told you about last week with the Vav being sounded and the Vav being the vowel. That's going to come again. So, but right now, let's just read the lines on page 35 for a quick review. And when we get to line 3, that's kind of the lead in to this new material, believe it or not. So Mary Ellen, will you start on line 1?
Shalom, Kadosh, Notain, Torah, Zion,
Mm-hmm.
Raon.
Ratzon. That's a tzadi, just like you got
Yep.
Sion. You saw it there, so perfect, yes. Eileen, will you read line 2? So this, well, let's see how you do, and then I'll tell you yeah,
Olam,
exactly.
la olam,
Okay, stop right there for that, yes, but just hold on. So the last 2 words on line 1 that Mary Ellen read, Sion and Ratzon, that's the tzadi. And then line 2, the first 2 words, these have ions in them, okay? And you guys caught that, so great. All right, so go ahead, Eileen, continue with the 3rd word.
am I on the 3rd word?
Yes,
Ha'om.
so that yud is gonna sound like,
I'm
exactly.
finding that just in my studies that I screw up with the Vav, well, consistently.
All right, well, you're gonna get a lot of practice today because we're gonna be talking about it. And
Okay.
also, we're gonna learn some new freaky things about the yud. Okay, so right here you had,
Otanu,
yes,
Hamotzi.
exactly, perfect, you got it. Okay, so line 3, Marjorie, will you read line 3?
Are those 2 dots or a straight line underneath the mem?
Straight line,
Okay. Matzot,
Yep.
Matzot, or is it
Yep.
matzot?
No, it's ma.
matzot?
No, so what he's doing here, he's giving you the word all together, then he's breaking it out into 2 syllables, and you read
Okay,
it
so it's
correctly.
matzot,
Yeah,
so,
That's a-
sa,
matzah, that's a little T under it, yep, matzah,
matzah, matzot, matzot.
exactly. So he's preparing us here by showing us that in this word matzot, which is the plural of matzah, right? That it's a 2-syllable word, okay? Now, the target word right here with the arrows, v'tzivanu. I know you've heard the word, but now we're gonna learn the vav to sound like a V. So this vav is a consonant. And I thought we learned this already, but maybe we're reviewing it. So the vav here, no dots anywhere. It's a consonant, always sounds like a V, a strong V, a regular V, just a V, okay? So line 4 under the box is just va, va, v, ve, 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 vu, 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 vo, v. So the latter part of the line, right? What number? The last, well, so 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5th from the end where you have the vav and the 3 dots slanting down, right, underneath it. So that's, and the one next to it to the left, that's where the vav is changing, just not just a consonant, right? But it's turning into the vowel, and then the one to the left of it with the vo. So that's why he has in the last, the 4th from the end and the 3rd from the end, he's got the double vav there, right? Showing you it's v and u for vu, and then the v and o for vo. But you'll never see it in a word that way. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? He's doing it for pronunciation purposes to show you that, because here he's teaching us the vav as a consonant, not as a vowel. So, but as I say, the way you spell words, you're never going to find 2 vowels next to each other where one acts as the consonant and the other acts as the vowel. It's going to be written the one vav, and we're going to have to learn that it's playing 2 roles. Okay. Look,
So you're saying it will always be just the vav with the dot over it to the left. That'll be vo.
right. And
That's how we'll see it in a word.
right. Yes.
Could you
Okay,
repeat the
so-
target word, please?
please.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Oh. The target word, could you
Oh,
repeat?
the target word yet is vitsivanu.
it?
Vitsivanu.
No, okay.
Okay. Okay. So let's go to line 5. Linda, will you unmute and read line 5?
Unmute, okay. Line 5. The Shabbat,
Mm-hmm.
Viratza,
Mm-hmm.
the Ad,
Mm-hmm.
Vetsiad.
Try, look at that one more time. There's a little T under the first letter, the first
Ah.
vowel.
Vaed.
Exactly.
Miss
Va'ed.
Sarah,
Okay, so Sue, in 1 second, I'm going to have you read line 6. What the words here, I hope a bunch of you are recognizing them because they are right from Shabbat Kiddush, which is what we're preparing to learn. Okay, but that's why they sound familiar. So Sue, line 6.
Va'ad,
Mhm.
olam, la'olam, va'ad,
Look at that one more time.
va'ad,
Perfect. Mhm.
rotanu.
So there's still a V at the beginning.
I was doing it as an R.
Right. So you
Do
had the
that
rest
all
of
the
it right.
time.
Yeah,
So read it again.
va'otanu.
Otanu, perfect, exactly. You were perfect until somehow you decided to say that was a resh.
Right.
Okay, this morning when I was exercising, my instructor said, do this, place your feet like this. And it's like, I heard her, I placed it a completely different way. And it's like, wait, I heard the words, but not what I did. So anyway, all right, Connie, line 7.
Mitzvah v'cha
Beautiful.
hayom mitzvah
Mhm.
mitzvot.
So that's a vet, a vav.
Mitzvot,
There
right.
you go.
mitzvot.
Meets vote, exactly. So.
If I did that same thing with the R, I do that. all
Exactly,
the
that's
time,
okay.
So it's a backwards R. Yeah.
You guys, I honestly think making the mistake and catching yourself and correcting it is the best way to learn it. So mitzvot, we know that, right? 613 mitzvot in the Torah. Okay, line 8, Audrey, will you unmute first? I can't hear you. You're not unmuted yet. There you are.
I did it, it just didn't take before. Okay, I'm on 8, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How much can I delay? Siva,
Yeah,
Sivanu,
perfect.
that's Sivanu.
That's our target word. Vatsivanu. That's the word right there.
There we go, coaxed it out. That's Sivanu.
Yes, you got it. Okay. Mary Ellen, will you do 9?
Wait, don't you want to say Lahadlik Ner after that? I just can't do it without the other. Sorry.
Well, but that's what your brain remembers, but now we're teaching your brain just to read what it sees.
Right.
All right, Mary Ellen, will you do line 9?
Mitzvah,
Mm-hmm.
mitzvah,
Mm-hmm.
zitzvah, mitzvah, zitzvah, mitzvah.
All little Pete, right? So it's mitzvah, we know is a word, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Siva sounds like a word to me, but I can't tell you what it is. So, but that's okay. He's making his point. So line 10, I'm gonna walk you through it. So mitzvah, right? We know that's a word. And then he's just showing you how he breaks it into 2 syllables, mitzvah. Now here, he's taking it to the plural, mitzvot. And then the last one, he's adding the bet at the front with a shva under it, b'mitzvot. And here we learned last week, or you can see on page 34, the prior page. So on the last word here, b'mitzvot, there's a shva under the bet, the first letter. So we sound it. Then there's a shva under the tzadi, the last syllable, the last letter of the final syllable. You don't sound it. It's silent because it's the final, it's as if it's the final letter of the word, but it's the final letter of the syllable, okay? So, b'mitzvot. You hear the difference? The short at the beginning under the bet, just the tz, no sound under the tzadi. Okay, b'mitzvot. All right, let's turn to page 36. And now he shows us. So we worked up to a new target word, mitzvot. Okay, now you see he spelled the word 2 different ways at the top of the page here. On the right, 1 vav with a dot over it, excuse me. On the left, 2 vavs, a dot over the second one.
How come?
Yeah. So he's pointing out here that for pronunciation, so the right-hand spelling is the correct spelling. The left-hand spelling he's giving you as a pronunciation guide. Okay, so if you look at the left-hand spelling, you have the mem, me, and then you have the tzadi, ts, and then you have, he wants you to know that this is a V with a O, the V consonant, the O vowel, vote. But in Hebrew, this particular use of the cholam vav is, he calls it a telescoping vav. So you get the V sound, and then you look above and you get the O sound. This is where it's serving 2 purposes, consonant and vowel.
Are they both correct?
The spelling of
Yeah.
these words? No, only the spelling on the right is correct. The spelling on the left is purely for pronunciation purposes. Okay? So, so here he tells you in the box, when preceded by a schwa, that's, you see
Ah.
this, the schwa under the tzadi,
Mhm.
the vav with the dot over it becomes V plus O. Okay, so if we looked in the middle of this page, the target word he's heading us to is b'mitzvotav. Okay, and here we know this word, just like mitzvot, we know this word, we hear it all the time, right? And it's spelled with a single vav, and it's this spelling just rule that the vav has this yet another purpose. So anyway, all right, you're just gonna have to get used to it, honestly. You're just gonna recognize it's gonna become a sight word. And your brain is gonna say, that word should be b'mitzvot because I know the phrasing that where I find that word constantly, okay? Okay, so,
Rachel,
you know, a lot of questions. Sue, yes.
So would you ever find the vav with the dot if it wasn't preceded by tzaddik?
Oh, sure,
So then it would still be vav.
it would be O.
that's my question.
It would be a vowel then. I mean,
Oh, it would be
It would
an O.
purely be
it
a
would
vowel.
be, yes.
It would purely be a vowel. It wouldn't be a consonant plus a vowel. So, and it's not so much the tzadi as it is the shva
Schwa.
under the tzadi, okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay, there'll be, I'll point out examples as we go.
Is this the same as my question? Did Sue just ask the same question? Is it just recognition that you know that that's a vav?
No, it's the schwa in front.
That versus an olam, cholam?
A cholem vav. So,
How do you know that's just not a long O?
right. So that's where he's saying that because of the shva immediately preceding the cholem vav. So it's always called a cholem vav when the vav has a dot on its head, okay? That's just the name of it. The question is the pronunciation of it. So the pronunciation of the cholem vav, when it's not following a letter with a shva under it, is it's just a simple vowel sounding like O. Okay, when it's in the middle of a word and the letter preceding it has a shva under it, then it's playing the role as a consonant and a vowel, vo.
Oh, and that's the only time it's a vav.
That's correct.
Huh, all right.
Okay, so letters, I'm sorry, rows 1 through 5 here. I'm going to tell you right now, the ones on the right are spelled correctly. The ones on the left have the double vav and are written, they're spelled wrong, but they're written purely for pronunciation purposes, okay? So the first one, mitzvo, okay? Now it's not a word on its own, mitzvo, but you see here on the left, he's just getting you to focus on the letters. He's got the mem, me, the tzadi with a shvatz, and then he writes a vav plus a cholem vav, so mitzvo. Okay, the second line, now it is a word, it's our target word, mitzvot. Okay, and this is a reprint of what you have at the top of the page, line 2, mitzvot. And as I keep saying, because the tzadi has the shva under it, we're gonna make that vav with a dot over it act like a consonant plus a vowel, vo. Now, line 3, very simple. He just puts a bet in front of it, b'mitzvot. Okay, and again, this is a very good example of what he's been teaching us about the shva. The bet has a shva because it's the beginning of the word. The shva sounds like a short b, and then the tzadi in the middle of the word, it's a silent shva, but that silent shva tells you that's It's ending the syllable, and that vav is going to be a vo. B'mitzvot. Line 4, Torah u'mitzvot. So all the same things we've been talking about, but now you've got a shva at the beginning of the word with a dot in its belly. It sounds like ooh.
You
And the
mean
rest-
you mean a vav.
A vav.
Yes, what did I say? I'm sorry.
Shva.
Don't tell.
Ah,
Oh, I apologize. Yes, I mean a vav. Oh my goodness. See, there we are. Brain and mouth are not functioning right. Right. That shva is a sharuk, right? It's sounding ooh mitzvot. And the last line, line 5, mitzvot Adonai. That's what that line is. And we now we really recognize the word mitzvot because we've seen it so many times. Okay. Okay, now in the middle of the page is a new rule. I apologize. He's just throwing them at you. There's a new rule to learn with regard to the yud. Okay, so he's got this asterisk. So this word is b'mitzvotav, right? It's got a couple of funky things going on, this word. B'mitzvotav. So this word is plural. And so at the end, you notice that yud doesn't sound like taiv, right? It's not b'mitzvotav, it's b'mitzvotav. It's the yud is silent.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. I gotta figure out how to take, okay.
Your dog needs your attention. I get it. It's okay. Yes, Eileen.
I'm not hearing the end of the target word in the middle of the page. Is it tan or tav?
Tav. It ends with a V sound. Tav. That's a vav at the end of the word. B'mitzvotav.
Tav.
Okay. And the reason this word is pronounced b'mitzvotav is because there's a new grammar rule that is going on here, which is this yud. He has this little asterisk at the bottom of the page. A yud at the end of the word is silent. The purpose of that yud is it's grammatically making the word plural. But from a pronunciation standpoint, it's silent. Okay?
So it's yud at the end.
No, it's yud vav.
So it's not really at the end.
Exactly. That's my gripe with how he explains this rule. It's not really at the end, but so if this were reversed, like we had earlier in the book, where the yud is actually the very last letter,
Yeah.
then you do pronounce it I, E-Y-E, how we would spell it I. But here it's not exactly at the end. It's not functioning as a vowel, that yud. It's functioning as an indicator that the word is now plural. Don't worry about it, okay? It's- I mean, I needed to explain it, but you're just gonna,
Take it for your word.
yeah. So, and we'll get some other examples coming up, okay? So let's go to line 6, okay? So on line 6, again, the word on the right of the equal sign is the correct spelling. The word on the left is the pronunciation spelling. Okay, so I'm going to read it for you. Line 6, bim ro mav. Okay, and then if you look at the left, right, correct, to the left of the equal sign, you're not, if you look at that spelling on the left side of the equal, it seems very straightforward. Bim ro mav, a bet, a mem, a resh with a o, a chol and vav for o, a mem and a vav, bim ro mav. But if you look at the right, it's got that extra yud going on. Okay, and then the word phrase to the left of that, shalom bim ro mav. You hear that in prayers, shalom bim ro mav. So you're gonna just have to recognize this word bim ro mav. Line 7. Pronunciation is b'mitzvotav. So again, if you look at the word on the left side of the equals, that spelling is very clear and straightforward. Bet, mem, tzadi, o, taf, vav, b'mitzvotav, right? We got the funky rule going on with the vav, but you come back to the word on the right, and not only do you have the funky rule with the vav, you've also got that crazy yud thrown in that has no sound. So here, this b'mitzvotav word, you got the vav playing two roles, a consonant and a vowel, and you got the yud hanging there playing a silent role. It's just a
Wow.
word to confuse, but this, you're just gonna remember it, b'mitzvotav. And the phrase on the left, kidashanu b'mitzvotav, right? Kidashanu b'mitzvotav, that's the phrase, okay? So line 8, Asher kidashanu b'mitzvotav, there's our phrase from the prayer, right? And your head knows that phrase. So, and below line 8, above the box, lihadlik ner shel Shabbat.
My word.
There's no, right? That's pretty straightforward to read, isn't it? Lihadlik ner shel Shabbat. Okay, so now, I know I did all the reading. You guys are not getting off that easy. So I know you love me even when I call on you. Eileen, will you read line 1 in the box?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Yes, beautiful. Sue, will you read line 2?
Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu.
Beautiful. See, your head knew what that word was when you got to it.
Yes.
Linda, will you finish and do line 3?
Lahadlik ner
Mhm.
shel Shabbat.
Perfect. There it is, ladies. You now can read. the blessing.
Rachel,
Yes.
I just want to point out, so all these years, I have been saying Kiddishanu, not ki. And I,
Understand.
until you see it with the correct vowel, it corrects in my head. So now
Right. Well, and the
Oh, the same with,
Kiddishanu, and it's Kiddishanu.
and the root, right, and the root word there is kadosh, holy, or
right.
kiddush, right? It's kuf daled shin. That's the root of this. So what vowels you have with it or how you pronounce it changes the meaning.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Kiddishanu, exactly.
the same with mitzvah or mitzvot. It's always been mitz rather than meets.
Oh, okay.
So,
All right.
so I'm
I
learning.
appreciate that. Absolutely.
I have one question. Does the vav ever have an u? I mean,
For vu,
yeah, do they ever pronounce, and are there Hebrew words?
I understand what you're asking, right?
Yeah.
Is that shava, is there going to be a letter with a shava under it before a vav with a dot in the middle? And I don't, off the top of my head, I don't think we come across it in this book at all.
Okay.
Okay, so let's look at page 37. After you look at that lovely family from 1950 something having a Shabbat moment.
Yeah.
It's everything about that picture really dates it, doesn't it?
Yeah. I wish they had the year in there just to see.
I agree. Okay, so page 37, the target word is Geffen. Okay, Hooray Priha Goffen, but this word is Geffen, as in David Geffen. I'm
Yeah.
guessing his name came from some form of this word. And I wish he'd stop putting his name all over everything. That's a political statement on my part. I'm sorry. Anyway,
What does Geffen mean?
something to do with,
Fruit of the
grapes.
vine.
yeah, the fruit of the vine, exactly, grapes, exactly. Okay, and so this Gimel, so is this our first encounter with the Gimel? We've
Mhm.
never learned Gimel before. Okay, let's talk about the shape.
Hanukkah.
Yes, well, we'll get to that.
Okay.
Let's talk about the shape of a Gimel. So what our little cheat sheet tells us is that at the bottom of the Gimel, you see it's got a V at the bottom, that gap. And he's saying that gap is what reminds you that this is a Gimel. Unlike a nun, for instance, where there's no gap, it's a straight line, right? Yes, Marjorie.
I always remember what the gimel looks like, because to me it looks like a heeled sandal.
Exactly. Exactly.
How does that get you a G sound? Does it get you there?
No,
or-
it just lets me know it's a gimel. And
Okay,
I know a
that's-
gimel is a G sound.
Okay.
So I
fine.
don't confuse it with nun or anything else.
Well,
That's a high heeled
so-
sandal.
I'm gonna add to your sandal analogy and say that you wear them to a garden party and you get
Well,
the
there
G.
you go. There you go. Then you get the G sound.
G.
I'd
And in
I'd not thought of that.
And
Okay.
I also heard it as galloping.
there you go.
If you look at it, it's like moving galloping.
I like
That's how I
that.
remember it.
Okay, well,
I think it looks like the Greek gamma.
oh, well, you learned Greek
Go
one
on.
day and I didn't. So you're, I don't recognize many, I know a couple of letters in Greek, but I can't say that I know how to write again.
Oh, it's from math, one of the math symbols.
Oh, gotcha. I didn't think of that. Okay. I didn't like math as much as I liked English, I guess.
I'll vote for that.
But what I want to say is that a G in Hebrew always has the G, the hard G as in garden, unlike in English where the G can sometimes sound like a J versus a G. Is it a GIF? Is it a GIF? Is it, what the heck? In Hebrew, it's always the hard G. Okay.
That's good.
That's easier than what I've been telling you so far today. So, okay, I'm going to read line 1 is very simple, right? It's our vowels. Ga, ga, ge, gay, gay, gee, gee, goo, goo, go, go. Okay, line 2. I'm not sure where I left off. Linda, I'm going to start with you if that's okay. Will you read line 2?
Go, go, go.
So that's this third one is not go. I would call that goy.
Oh, is that a-
Yeah.
Okay, this yud is the last letter and
Ah,
it's going to sound like a Y.
oh, go yay.
Well, it's just goy,
Oh,
that
goy.
that Y thing. Okay, not a big deal.
Ga, go.
That's a dalid, the
Oh,
second letter.
gado. I thought I said
Gado, right?
Giel,
So just gil.
Gil,
Mhm.
Gula.
Gula, right. So just to let you know, so that third word, which I'm saying is goy, we all know what goy means, but it's Yiddish, it's not Hebrew, just saying. Okay, thank you so much.
Goy.
Marjorie, will you read line 3?
Gal, galoy,
There's one dot under there, under the
gali,
line. Yes.
gali,
Mhm.
gali, galil,
Yes.
goal.
There's 2 dots under the olive, so it sounds
Sorry,
like,
goel,
yes, goel.
geulam, la.
Exactly.
Geula.
Geula. Right. Geula. Yes. Audrey, will you read line 4?
Gil, Gila, Gade, or Gare,
Gare. Right.
yeah. Gog,
Mm-hmm.
Gon,
Gan. Right. Garden. Gan.
Gom,
Gam means also.
I'll never remember. Gavia,
Yes. Gavia. Perfect. Very nice. Okay. Connie, if you can you unmute? Is the dog quiet? I can't hear you yet. Hold on.
we can't hear you, Connie. You're
Yeah.
muted.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. Line
Gotcha.
5.
Nagila,
Yes,
go.
Yeah.
Just go.
it is, although again,
Go, yeah. or-
I would say goy,
Oh,
but
goy.
I'm not
Goy.
positive what they want us to say here. Let's not worry about it.
Gadol,
Mhm,
Gidula,
mhm.
Yigdal,
Yes.
Yigdal,
Yes,
wait, Yeet, yeah, Yeet Gadol.
Yit
Yeet
gadal.
Gadol.
Exactly, Yit gadal. Again, your brain is going to start recognizing these words, which is a good thing. Mary Ellen, line 6.
Goel, Golale,
Mhm.
Thank you for calling the Bern-Silberg residence. Sorry, we're not able to answer the call right now. but
Linda, if
please
you
leave
mute, we'll be
your name
fine.
after,
Okay,
And we'll return your call. Just
Geula,
thank you for
thank
calling.
you. Yes,
Geula.
geula, correct. Okay, Eileen, line 7. So this is a phrase some of you will recognize.
Yeah.
Latate. Gadula.
Mhm.
Laotir.
Slow down. So the lamed has a shfa that will be sounded, a little under it.
Layotzer. Layotzer.
Yes, I would say li yotzer, but yes, la yotzer probably acceptable too.
Bereshit.
Exactly. La tate gedula liotzer bereshit. That's the phrase. Mary Ellen knows that phrase. I know she does.
Elena.
Yes. And does it spell the way you think it sounds?
Or
Okay.
the way I've
Mary.
been pronouncing it? No.
That's okay. I didn't ask you that. That's okay. But now,
We just say, it. I'm so used to just saying it,
right,
and seeing it is a whole different ballgame.
right, right. But your brain definitely recognizes this phrase, right? La tate gedula liotzer bereshit. Exactly. Okay, we're gonna do line 8. Sue?
Vahu Eli,
Mhm,
go Ali,
mhm.
Vaim,
Yeah,
wait a minute, Gaviyati,
very good. Gaviati, you're doing beautifully. So vahu eli, I'm gonna skip what I want to say. Go ali, ve'im, gaviati. I want to sing all the words in between, but I don't want to confuse you, so I'm not gonna do that. Linda, line 9, please.
Yeah, Tadol.
All right, slow down. So
Oh, yeah,
eat,
Yeet, Gadol.
that's under the dalid.
Yeet, Gadal.
Yes, eat gadal.
Ve Yeet Kadosh.
That's again under the dalid.
Ve Yeet Kadesh.
Dash, v'yit kadash.
Kadash. Shemay Rabbah.
Exactly. So now there are those who used to pronounce this with more of a O than a, but that's not how we're going to pronounce it. So we're going to do it Yit Gadal, V'yit Kadash, Shemay Rabbah. Okay. Excellent. All right. The target word, Geffen. We're still working toward it. We're going to turn the page and we're going to learn a new letter.
Oy.
Same word.
Okay. Okay. So we're going to learn 2 letters actually, the pay and the fay.
Oy.
Okay. So on our cheat sheet, on the very last line, you've got the first letter to the right is the kuf. We already know that K sound, but now we've got the pay and the fay. And I like what they say here. So One has a dot in the middle, one does not. The pay, you add that dot and it looks like a profile of somebody, maybe a low hanging eyeball, I don't know, but a profile. And then you look to the next one and it's a featureless face. There's no dot in there, so it can't be a profile. It's a featureless face. And that's the difference. No dot, you get a PH sound. A dot, you get a pure P sound. Okay. So on page 38, we are going to start with the fe, which is the PH sound. And we need that. It's the middle letter of Geffen, that PH sound. So line 1, it's just all our vowels again. Fee, fee, fe, 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 fa, fa, fo, fo, foo, foo, f. Okay. I'm going to do line 2 because it's too simple. Fe, 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 ge, fen. Then there's the target word with the exclamation point, geffen. Then he changes it, gaffen, okay? And then he puts a ha in front of it, hagaffen. All right, which we need that word, right?
Yeah.
Hooray pre hagaffen. All right, so now we're at line 3. And I think, Audrey, it's your turn.
Okay. See, I missed a whole 2 letters. Okay. Apar.
No, so that is a fe. That second letter has no dot.
Afar, a bridge
correct.
to afar.
Afar.
And fair to remember. La fanai.
So this lefanav.
Lefanav. So I totally ignored the lefanav.
It is essentially right.
Okay. Tif ara.
Very good.
Tif eret. Tif rotsi.
Exactly. Tifrotsi. Very good. Okay. Connie, you have a question. Yes, you have to, there you
Can
go.
you pronounce the last word again?
Tifrotsi.
Thanks.
Okay. Mary Ellen, I think we're back to the beginning at your box. So line 4.
Fanav. Nakadma.
I would say that the nun at the beginning is a shorter vowel. N.
Nikadma.
Yes.
Fanav.
Fanav.
Bitora.
That's a dalid, not a resh.
Oh, Pitoda.
Bitoda. Exactly. Nikadma, fanav, bitoda. Okay. Very good. Eileen, line 5.
Tifara.
Tifara. Very good. Who? That's a hey. So a H sound.
Vahu.
Vahu.
Ye. You have it?
So it's, if you think of this as 2 syllables, you have the first 2 letters, ye, and then you have the second 2 letters, yeah. Ye, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Batifara.
Very good. So that phrase is Bahu ye yeah batif ara.
I knew the song, but I couldn't.
Exactly. Precisely. I wanted you to hear the song in your head. That's why I reread it for you.
Could you do the middle again, please? The one I missed up.
Sure. Bahu ye yeah.
Yeah.
Ye. So give it that H. So ye yeah. You feel there's H's in there?
Yeah, it's the I guess it's the yud that I was messing up.
I think the fact that the H is essentially silent, but it gives you a breath pause. Ye, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Line 6, Sue.
Teeth, teeth eret,
Put a T at the end.
teeth eret,
Perfect.
la shame, ul. Now that ul, teeth eret,
Beautiful.
balit, hila.
Very good. You really catch on. That's lovely.
Some of it's sight, yeah.
No, you're doing really well.
Okay.
Linda, line 7.
Ter, fa, re,
So this is a little tricky.
fa,
So if you think of this as 2 syllables, the first syllable is the fe and the resh, far, okay? And the resh, the schwa under the resh is silent. It's the end of the syllable. And then you have the ayin, which is a silent letter, but it has a dot on the upper
Oh,
left. So
yeah.
that's a O, exactly. So now put it together.
faro,
Far O.
faro, u, unya, ma,
So, okay, let's slow down on this one. So you
un,
have the U and a nun sound, a nun, okay, with the silent stress. So un,
un,
and then you have a
ma,
kuf. That's a kuf, that third letter, with an
oh,
ah under it.
ukama,
Exactly. Un kama,
ba- bafar, bafaro,
Exactly. Befar o. Un kama befar o
Befar.
is what that phrase is. Okay.
So you
Uh,
wouldn't do anything with the resh there, because it's almost like the end of a word because it's the end of a syllable?
Exactly.
Okay,
So it's just a resh sound with no vowel under it.
okay.
No vowel
Hey,
sound.
Rachel,
Yeah.
is that word pharaoh?
Pharaoh, sounds like it.
Befar o.
Fair?
Bafar,
I don't know the meaning of this word here, honestly.
Okay.
But it's spelled far o. Befar o.
Pharaoh,
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Line 8. So let's see. I think Marjorie, we're at you for line 8.
Gafan,
So there's 3 dots under each of those. Okay, so
Gefen,
yes,
Hagafen,
exactly.
Bore, Hagafen.
Exactly. Perfect.
The pre.
Okay, so now
I
they're gonna,
almost said it.
yeah,
Bore, pre.
of course, that's okay. He leaves it out with 3 dots, but if you had said it, I would have not bothered you. Okay, so now we need the faceophete. So, which is, yeah, I am sorry. So when you want a PH sound or an F sound at the end of a word, you use a faceophete. And this is how it's going to look. And on our cheat sheet, they say sounds like an F and it's a final letter. So, if you compare it to the Fe, the top half of the letter is exactly the same. It's just, it doesn't come down and circle around like a reverse C. It just goes straight down.
Yeah.
So that's a faceophete. So line 9, I'll read for you. The word is goof. And then he says, Ein lo demut haguf ve'eno goof. Again, from a prayer. Ein lo demut haguf ve'eno goof. Okay, so now we're going to go to page 39. And we're going to learn that the Fae has its sister with its profile, and it sounds like a P.
Pimple.
So that's what page 39 is.
Did someone just say pimple?
Yeah, that's what I.
Oh, there we go.
That's a good.
the face with a pimple. Okay, I gotcha. I
I thought 2 eyes, come on.
And I always thought of it as a pea for pea pod, like a little pea.
Well, it could also,
These are all
unfortunately,
great, yeah.
you could think of it as a dimple. A dimple has a P in it too.
Yeah, but dimple starts with D, so I
I
don't want
know,
to say
that's
with
the
P.
problem. I know. But I prefer to think of it as a dimple than a pimple, but hey. And my dimples are closer to the bottom of my nose than my eyes are, but that's, my eyes haven't drooped that far yet. Okay, so on the top of page 39, we have Paris is the word.
One word that was missing before
Right.
bottom of 8.
Right, because we didn't know the P yet. So here we have Paris, and you get Boré, Paris, Hagafen. All right. So the difference between lines 1 and 2, line 1 is the PH sound. Line 2 has the dot inside there. And I hope your books are clear enough. I know that some of them get a little fuzzy. There is a dot in every letter across line 2, making it a pay. So line 1, fi, fe, fe, fa, fo, foo, f. And line 2 is pay, pa, po, poo, poop. Okay? Okay, we got that figured out. All right, Connie, will you read line 3?
Ba'api,
But api,
ba'api, asher,
Mhm.
nishbati, nishbati,
nishpati,
nishbati.
right? I'm not sure what
yeah.
that shva under the ayin is doing, since ayin is a silent letter. So I think what it's doing is nishba'ati, but I would say nishba'ati, mishba'ati. So there's a very short under that ayin, but it's very bizarre.
And then the last one is Ba'afi,
P, exactly. That's correct.
Yeah, P. Yeah,
Mhm.
Ba'afi.
Line 4, Audrey.
Paritsi.
So the resh is not going to have a sound under it. It's just
Oh,
going to
it's
have
a
the
spot,
R
sorry,
sound.
I saw only one dot. Part C,
Part C.
al yad. That was a dollar, right?
Yep. No, al yad. You're right. This is ish, the aleph with a dot under it. Ish.
Ish. Okay, thank you. Ben. Part C.
Al yad ish ben part C. Yes, it's a phrase from a prayer, but I can't tell you exactly where it comes up. Sorry.
Is that a pen? This next to the last word, is that pen?
Ben. So I'll read the phrase again.
Ben.
It's Ben. Al yad ish ben part C.
Okay.
Okay, that's a bet Ben. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, line 5, Mary Ellen, we're back to the beginning, I think.
Pene.
Yep.
Pene Shabbat. Nakabal.
Nikabala.
Oh, Nikabala. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we sing Pene Shabbat Nikabla, right? So that's the phrase. We'll get to that prayer. Eileen, you get off too easy if you just read 6, so I want you to read 6 and 7.
Oh. Paro.
Par-o, that's it, par-o.
Yeah. Re. Pari. Pari ha dam wait dama.
Dama. Pari ha'adama. Okay. Fruit of the land of the earth. Ha'adama. Okay. Fruit of the earth. Pari ha'adama. Sue, question?
So that last word, ha'adama,
Mhm.
it didn't have the shva next to the,
Under the aleph?
what, would you say it differently?
Well, you would put the emphasis on the first rather than on the ma. So ha'adama, I put the emphasis at the end of the word. I think if it didn't have the shva there, you'd probably put the emphasis more in the middle of the word.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I wasn't putting it anywhere because I didn't know where it went.
That's what I was, yeah.
And that's legitimate. You guys don't have the knowledge yet to appreciate where it should go yet. So you read it the same, and that's perfectly fine. Okay. Okay, so line 8, I'm gonna read, well, okay, no, I can't read it. I need to give it to someone. So Mary Ellen, what did you just read? Did you just read 8?
No,
No.
no, nobody read 8. I think it was Linda that did 7.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so where the heck, yeah, so that Linda did 7.
No,
We're up to 8.
Oh, 8 to
We're
8.
8.
So Marjorie, I think it's you.
No, I should keep my mouth shut.
I think she did it.
Ara, Array, Puri, Ha, Adama.
Exactly. And so, yeah, ladies, so I go around the boxes on my screen. I go in a certain order. Some weeks I go reverse, some weeks I go clockwise, some weeks I go, but so that's how I'm getting to each of you. So doesn't matter what you say, it's really where
I
am.
was just fooling.
I
around.
know, but I try to just keep going in the same orders and
And our screens are not necessarily the same order. as
exactly, precisely. Line 9, Connie.
Pari,
Mm-hmm.
Pari, Hagafen.
Mm-hmm. I got Fen, exactly. Audrey, line 10.
Ore, Pri, Hagefen.
So this one is under the Gimel.
Hagafen.
Exactly, Hagafen, right. So I'm not sure why he did line 9, it's Hagefen, line
Yeah.
10, it's Hagafen. Okay, and he did it to practice to make you really focus. That's what he did.
Some of
Okay,
us
so-
are not, yes.
So in the box, Mary Ellen, you're gonna read the bracha in the box.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen.
Perfect, beautiful, okay? And this is gonna lead us to the full Kiddush, okay? Which we're getting close to. But it is 9:59.
Wow.
I know.
This was a fast one.
You know, on page 40, he's gonna introduce us to the bet and the vet. I don't think they're tricky. I think you'll be fine with them, but we won't start today. You know, it's, again, dot versus no dot, right? So, all right. Same time, same place next week. Questions?
Sounds good.
Yes. When you talk about the cheat sheet, not the cheat sheets within our book, within Shalom Aleichem, but the one pager, I was looking for it and I came up with something that only shows up as a Google document. Is that, are we,
Now, I sent it as an attachment. I'll send it again with the homework today.
right, but no, it came as an attachment, but it only, I can only open it as a Google Doc and it's really hard to save. It's like an
Oh.
ATM. So
I
I'm
thought
not,
I sent it as a PDF
Sent it
because
as
I only
PDF.
have it.
Did.
Okay, could you please send it again?
Yeah,
That'd be
absolutely.
great. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yes.
And when
Eileen?
when you give us the link for today's session, I always have to go back to one of the old ones to get it.
Why?
It
You mean
doesn't
for this class?
for this class,
I'll
yeah.
reattach it. I'll reattach it again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The problem may be it's at the way bottom, all the lessons are there and then the link is at the very, very bottom. So if you don't keep scrolling, you're never going to find it.
That's right.
Well,
Now,
the
it's
other thing,
there.
ladies, so when you go to sign in, if you just open your Zoom application, you should have the Hebrew class as a choice of class or Zooms you've been on recently. And so you choose that. You'll then need to have the password handy. So if you write the password maybe on a post-it on your book, you just put in the password, type in the six numbers or whatever it is.
I never needed the password for some reason.
Oh, that's because you're using the link that I embed. I seem to always need the password. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm the first one going in. I don't know, but it requires me.